regular meeting. It is Tuesday, May 14th, and I welcome you for being here. Can we have roll call, please? Madam Secretary?
5:41 p.m. Chairman Desilme, Board Member Timothy, Board Member Charles,
Present.
Vice Chair Estimate Irvin,
Present.
Board Member Galvin. Vice Chair, you have a quorum to proceed.
Okay. Can we stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Consent agenda. Consent agenda.
As of 5:42 p.m., Chairman Desilme and Board Member Galvin are both present.
We're on consent agenda.
Consent agenda. Unless a member of the CRA Board wishes to remove a specific item from this portion of the agenda, Tab A constitutes the consent agenda. This resolution and item is self-explanatory and is not expected to require additional review or discussion. This item will be recorded as individually numbered resolution adopted unanimously by the following motion: that the consent agenda comprised of Tab A be adopted.
Move for approval.
I have a motion made by Vice Chair Estimate Irvin to approve the consent agenda, Tab A. The motion was seconded by Board Member Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
So, Vice Mayor on tab I. What is it, item?
Agenda item 1,
thank
resolution
you.
approving debt issuance of Morgan Stanley NT. A resolution of Chair and Board members of the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency authorizing the issuance of not to exceed aggregate principal amount of $50 million redevelopment revenue bonds, Series 2024, for the purpose of financing certain redevelopment projects, providing that the Series 2024 bonds shall be limited obligations of the issuer payable from tax increment revenues as provided herein, pledging such tax increment revenues and proceeds of certain funds and accounts created herein to secure payment of the principal and interest on the Series 2024 bonds, delegating the award of the sale of the Series 2024 bonds to the Executive Director, appointing a registrar and paying agent, approving the execution and delivery of a bond purchase agreement, approving the execution and delivery of continuing disclosure agreement, providing for the rights, securities, and remedies for the owners of the Series 2024 bonds, making certain covenants and agreements in connection therewith, and providing an effective date. Agenda item 1.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk, Madam Secretary, Madam Executive Director.
Good afternoon. On April 9th, 2024, the NMCRA Board authorized the Executive Director to negotiate terms of a debt issuance with Morgan Stanley and Company, LLC, proposer, as a sole proposer to RFP number 252324. Since then, proposer has presented, among other things, the following terms for acceptance: the issuance of not exceeding $50 million aggregate principal amount of Series 2024 bonds, a commitment fee not in excess of 0.30% of the principal amount of the Series 2024 bonds, a true interest cost of not more than 5.75% per annum with respect to the Series 2024 bonds, and the maturities of the Series 2024 bonds with a final maturity no later than March 1st, 2043. NMCRA staff is recommending approval of this resolution, and we do have present tonight our bond counsel from Bryant Miller Olive, Jolinda Herring, and we also have Pete Verona, who is representing PFM, who is our financial advisor, and they are available for any questions that you may have.
Okay, thank you so much. Member of the public, well, do we do public hearing, or is this just, before, public hearing is open on the item? Public hearing is open on item 1. Seeing none coming, public hearing is closed. Members of the council.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Madam Director,
Yes.
should the state take some actions to absolve CRAs, who assumes the liability of this loan?
The city.
That's the only question I had.
I have a couple of questions.
Go ahead, Councilwoman.
Thank you.
The amount of the bond, I know this was discussed several times, if you can just kind of state it one more time for us on record. How much is this loan amount, and,
Okay.
because I know at one point, I've heard 100 million, and it was 60 million. No, that was way before, you know,
I
back in 21, they thought we had 100 million bond capacity that the CRA could take out, and then the county approved us to go for a certain amount, and now we're here at this juncture. If you can just kind of explain that for me.
So this is for $50 million. That's the principal amount, 5 million of which must be held in a debt reserve. So there will be 45 million available to conduct the work that we choose to do
For the CRA.
for the CRA. Yes,
Okay.
the CRA.
And you said the interest rate was how much right now?
5.75%.
You.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's not
actually.
bad.
That's
Oh,
not
is
bad
that
at
good?
all.
Yeah.
This is
Actually,
because
with
of market
7
conditions.
Mhm.
I did share a report that was issued by Standard & Poor
Yeah,
of the credit rating for the agency. I'm happy to announce that the CRA went from unrated to an A rating, so we are very, very proud of that. And so really, market conditions are what is driving that interest cost at this point.
And at any
Unless-
point,
Is that correct? Yes, okay.
and at any point, if the market rates go down, we could refinance for a better offer, correct?
I believe that's a possibility,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
And this was the only,
This was the
The
sole
only-
proposer. We did not have any other
You.
bidders on the RFP when we, and just as a refresher, when we initially released the RFP, we did have several institutions that had asked questions, but at the closing of the RFP, nobody answered. We went ahead and extended the RFP for, I think, 2 weeks. Then Morgan Stanley was our sole proposer at that point, and so we have engaged with our negotiations with that proposer.
okay. I think that's it for me.
If I
Right,
may,
are there-
Yes, we have Councilman and then Vice Mayor.
Are there any commitment fees, and what are they?
The commitment fee is 0.30% of the principal amount.
Is that negotiable?
Just please state your name for the record.
My name is Pete Verona, and I'm with PFM Financial Advisors, LLC, as financial advisor to the CRA. To answer that question, at this point in the process, we've already negotiated the terms and conditions, and therefore, we've essentially accepted the $3 per bond fee. So we would not further negotiate that especially after this approval tonight.
Thank you.
oh, no,
Councilman.
no, quickly, that 5.75% interest rate is to the life of the bond, or is that a fix?
Yes, that's a fixed rate.
A fixed rate, okay. All right, that's good.
So it's 575, but if it, by the time closing happens, if it's lower, did you want to comment on that?
As far as the interest rate?
Mhm.
Right, so it's 575 right now, but if by the time we close there's a lower rate, would that,
So the interest rate is preliminary right now, and it will be set when we price the bonds with Morgan Stanley, which is expected to occur on Thursday. But we need this approval first to be able to move forward with that pricing with Morgan Stanley. So we will know the final rate on Thursday if it happens that day, or potentially afterwards if Morgan Stanley is not quite ready. But we will be setting the rate at that time, and then it is locked for the duration of the bonds.
Question. Help me understand this. So on page 4, the direct purchase, the terms and condition for the purchase, I don't understand. So the bottom line of this is $4 million? You're borrowing $50 million, and then we paying back $4 million? Or no? Help me understand that. You see how it has the schedule? And then,
I guess what
Page
page?
no? Oh, I'm sorry, page 46.
Okay,
46 of 81, I'm sorry.
okay.
I see the 4.
Is it the reserve fund?
I think so. Would that be the reserve?
is a-
Yeah, preliminary terms and
That amount
conditions.
sounds right for the reserve fund. So if it is the reserve fund, that is an amount that is set aside
Mhm.
out of that 50 million, and that's set aside as a reserve that the bank can then reach into if the CRA were to default on the
Oh,
loan.
okay. This is if we were to default on the original. So how much are we, like, how much does it cost?
5 million is what goes into the reserve, the debt reserve,
Okay, from the 50?
from the 50, correct?
Oh, okay, I see.
And then we have 45
So
to
this-
play with. Guys, don't take me literally with with that.
To
That means we have
spend.
45,
To spend.
45 million to spend on
Yes.
projects, et cetera.
Correct.
Right.
To allocate, love the word.
Right.
And those numbers will be finalized with this pricing that I mentioned on Thursday. We'll have the exact amounts that we'll be able to provide.
But so far, so by 2043, which the year before we go into sunset, so we should pay roughly around 4 million with taxes and everything.
On a per year basis?
Yeah.
Yes, the annual debt service is roughly, it's a little over $4 million. We
yeah.
estimate it right now at 4.16 million per year. And that's until as you said, 2043.
For year or for the duration of the yeah, like what's the total are we paying?
So the total interest on these bonds is about 28 million, and that's plus the 50 million of principal. So the total debt service on the entire loan over the 20 years or so is 78 million and change.
Oh,
Sounds like a mortgage on the house, right?
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing.
When you buy a house,
It's
it's
very
the same
similar.
thing.
You should see how much money I still owe on my
It is
house.
very
Yeah.
similar to a mortgage.
Yeah.
You don't borrow money without paying something back.
And just like a mortgage, you are paying more principal on the back end of the
Yeah.
loan, and you are paying more interest up front.
At a I wish houses were right now 5.7.
Well, I'll be honest, I just looked at mine today. I'm 2008, my rate was 4.2%, and I didn't realize it was that cheap. And I was like, wow, I
You
got a
should've-
good rate back then.
During COVID, you should have refinanced when they were 1.9.
Well, yeah.
But, yeah.
and
But
this
is
was
not
the
a,
only
this
one.
is not a
They're
bad
like 7,
number.
yeah.
That's the thing. I've seen numbers for other, if you were taking out loans right now, a mortgage on a home right now, you're talking about like 7 something.
7, 8, yeah.
Yeah.
A car, 23%. So.
Car
Okay.
23.
Yeah, for
Oh.
some people, if you had your credits bad.
Jesus.
Well, that's
Okay.
me.
All right.
Motion to approve?
Second.
I thought this was going to be longer. It's not.
I have a motion made by Vice Chair Estimate Urban to approve Agenda Item 1. The motion was seconded by Board Member Charles. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you. Next item.
Agenda Item 2, Resolution Approving Contract Renewal with Green ERA. A resolution of the Chair and Board members of the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency authorizing the Executive Director and North Miami CRA Attorney to negotiate and finalize an amendment to the agreement with Green Era Sustainable Consulting, Inc. to continue to provide quality control and inspection services for the Housing Rehabilitation Grants Program on an as-needed basis for an amount not to exceed $2,250 for each project and an estimated total amount not to exceed $36,000 based on an anticipated total number of 16 housing rehabilitation projects. Authorizing the Executive Director to execute the amendment to the agreement with Green Era Sustainable Consulting, Inc. Authorizing the Executive Director to take all action necessary to implement the terms of the amendment to the agreement and providing an effective date. Agenda Item 2.
Thank you so much. Any presentation?
Well, NMCRA staff is requesting the NMCRA Board approve the renewal of the Green Era Sustainable Consulting to continue providing quality control and inspection services for the North Miami CRA Housing Rehabilitation Grant Program. The proposed contract price is a maximum of $2,250 per project, $2,250 per project, with an estimated total of $36,000 for up to 16 housing rehabilitation project this fiscal year. At the March 14, 2023 CRA Board Meeting, Green Era Sustainable Consulting was awarded a contract for quality control and inspection services for the North Miami CRA Housing Rehabilitation Grant Program. The contract was capped at $2,000 per project, and the total amount awarded is $76,000 for 38 housing rehabilitation projects. The NMCRA has significantly benefited from the services provided by Green Era. Their expertise and commitment to excellence have played a crucial role in ensuring that all work performed under the program complies with the NMCRA guidelines, meets quality standards, and satisfies homeowners. The scope of services to be performed by Green Era will remain consistent with the initial contract and will include but not be limited to preliminary inspections, project scoping for bidding, conducting pre-bid meetings, and project closeout. We do have Ms. Jean Farans here representing Green Era, if the board have any questions.
Move for approval.
Second.
Public hearing first, and then we've seen none coming. Ms. Jean Farans, you have nothing to say. Public hearing closed. We have the item been moved in second.
I have a motion made by Vice Chair Estimate Irvin to approve Agenda Item 2. The motion was seconded by Board Member Timothy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you. Next item.
Agenda Item 3, resolution approving of extension of deadlines for Magellan Housing LLC. A resolution of the Chair and Board members of the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency approving the First Amendment to Infrastructure Grant Agreement between the North Miami CRA and Magellan Housing LLC. Authorizing the Executive Director to execute the First Amendment to Infrastructure Grant Agreement, authorizing the Executive Director to take all action necessary to implement the terms of the First Amendment to Infrastructure Grant Agreement, and providing an effective date. Agenda Item 3.
Thank you so much. Public hearing is open on the item. Since we all kind of know, public hearing is closed. Yes.
Move for approval.
Second?
I didn't get out. So this is just an extension, correct? Of
Yes,
the
it's an,
date?
ext-
Okay.
it's an extension of the deadlines.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
And I want to put on the record, based on my communication, that it's an extension of the deadline, not due to the applicant or fault. It's
Yes.
because of DERM
What is-
I'll elaborate.
issues and, yes, so
Yes,
please.
I will
just want to
elaborate.
make sure that
So
that's on the
the
record.
grantee has been working diligently. The beginning part of the process is for them to do environmental remediation on the site, and they have been working diligently with DERM and the county process. It's taken a lot longer than anyone anticipated, and as such, we are amenable to giving them the deadline extensions.
I have a motion made by Vice Chair Estimate Irvin to approve Agenda Item 3. The motion was seconded by Board Member Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you. Next item.
Agenda Item 4, resolution to approve SRS proposal for Northwest 7th Avenue. A resolution of the Chair and Board members of the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency authorizing the Executive Director and North Miami CRA attorney to negotiate and finalize an agreement with Sinilovsky Romanik Saye LLC to provide professional services to develop Northwest 7th Avenue facade grant guidelines and create 2 block case study concept imagery for an amount not to exceed $57,000 and construction documents fee for an amount not to exceed $29,250 per location. Authorizing the Executive Director to execute the agreement with Sinilovsky Romanik Saye LLC, authorizing the Executive Director to take all action necessary to implement the terms of the agreement and providing an effective date. Agenda Item 4.
Thank you so much. Any presentation? Are we good?
NMCRA staff is requesting that the NMCRA board approve the resolution authorizing the proposal from Sinilovsky Romanik Saye to develop Northwest 7th Avenue facade grant guidelines and a 2-block case study concept imagery for the NMCRA. The Northwest 7th Avenue is a strategic priority corridor for the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency. Recognizing its potential for revitalization, Northwest Avenue has been designated Northwest 7th Avenue Cultural Arts and Innovation District. Per the new interlocal agreement with Miami-Dade County, the NMCRA will allocate 35% of the county TIF retained by the agency annually for Northwest 7th Avenue revitalization efforts. The proposal provides professional services to develop Northwest 7th facade grant guidelines and create 2-block case study. It also includes a construction document fee that covers documents and services up to a specified value for permit plan submission to the building department if necessary. We do have present tonight Ms. Romanik from SRS, if the board have any questions.
Okay, I have, public hearing, let's open it first and then we'll close it. See none coming. Public hearing is now closed. Yes. I don't have any question. None.
I do. First of all, I'm very excited about this because I always say 7th Avenue is the gateway to our city. Just wanted to have an idea of a timeline, like when this would be in, I'm sorry if I'm talking in your district, sir.
No.
But I'm so excited about the 7th
That's a
Avenue.
city.
Go ahead.
Sure. Meryl Romanek from Sinalowski Romanek SIA. Delighted to be here tonight and delighted to help with this effort. Creating guidelines so that folks understand the rules of the roads. We can create great standards that help improve the conditions of the buildings, the lighting, the landscaping, the pedestrian experience, the vehicular experience, and just really help the city showcase itself properly is very, very important, and we're glad to be a part of it. The timeline is basically we're going to meet with the commission board members and get their feedback, because obviously we want to listen to each of you to see if there's any particular vision that you have and kind of learn from the exercise. We're going to do some due diligence and do some research on transformations and how to kind of create a cohesive, complementary solution that helps reinvent the corridor. And that will take a couple weeks to do that. And then after that, we'll prepare a package to share with the team, get some feedback, and turn it back. So the step one piece of the puzzle, we think from start to finish can be about 8 weeks, which is creating the guideline. Then step two is a 2-block case study concept imagery. It's implementing those guidelines at a very specific locations so that we can share how that can unfold, right? And so that you'll have a vision that you can see. That should take another 4 weeks past there. So we're really at about 3 months from start to finish. Beyond that, it's dependent upon each location as they come along, and if they want us to develop their plans for them, that's a separate issue. So its timeline is tied to folks that are actually going to jump on board and take advantage of the opportunity to reinvent. Thank you.
And I just have a follow-up question.
Sure.
So what should the expectation be after the study?
As far as what the end
Mhm.
product?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to end up with a booklet, basically, that the staff can use to share with folks as they come in and say, hey, I'd like to take advantage of this, that it'll understand kind of the rules of the road and make sure that they're clear on the direction, the vision, to make sure that the transformations are cohesive down the street. Not, each one doesn't necessarily have to be exactly like the other, so there's going to be some variations on themes and some flexibility within it, because monotony is not interesting either, right? So we're going to be able to create some flexibility within there so they have kind of the guidebook that leads them to improving their individual lots and properties.
And as far as the timeline, you said it will take about 6 to 8 weeks.
No, the total process, it's 8 weeks for the guideline part, and then
Mhm.
we're going to do an implementation on 2 case studies, basically, for another 4 weeks. So the total timeline is about 12 weeks.
12 weeks. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. May I get a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion made by Board Member Charles to approve Agenda Item 4. The motion was seconded by Board Member Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Here you go, Councilman Galvin. All 3 of them you have to sign. Okay. I think I passed it to him. Thank you, and now we are on item 4? No, that was item 4, right? CRA report, Attorney, Mr. Zuckerwoods.
No report, but congratulations on approving the loan tonight, and look forward to seeing a lot more redevelopment occurring in North Miami.
Thank you. Madam CRA?
Good evening. I do have a report tonight. We have a few things on the table. So on May 12th, that was on Mother's Day, the 163 notice of disposal for the 2 properties that was approved at the April 9th meeting went into publication in our newspapers. So that is also on our social media, will be posted on our website, and we will have a press release letting the public be aware that these opportunities are available. So in June, so it's for 30 days, June 12th is the end of that period. We expect to get solicitations and packages to the CRA that we will forward to the board for approval. Also, we did do our lottery last week, Thursday, on May 9th, for the 38 AMI units. we had 177 complete applications that were included in that lottery. The list has been sent over to the developer for them to complete that process. So we had a good showing with that. And as you can see on your desk, you have the copy of our this year's annual report. I would encourage you to go through the annual report. We have QR codes this year, so if you use your phone to the QR codes, you will actually have videos of the events that were captured. So it's a very different feature that we're doing, and we are hoping to stand apart at the FRA this year with this annual report. We are very excited with our consultant, Hip Rockstar, that decided to do something a bit innovative and different with the annual report this year.
The only thing I have to say about it is that the business summit is not on the front page, that's all. Me and Dougie's all the way in the back, but it's still nice.
Well, we have you featured. We have, I mean, the
Saying,
QR codes
can I
really,
have it
I have to
bigger?
say, they're really cool. I really think you should just go through all of them, and it really brings everything to life. You relive those events. You get to really see what it was just then. It's reading about it on the paper, so.
Hip Rockstar does a great job. Where and when is the FRA this year?
It is in Tampa, and it is, I believe, the last week of October, but I can get the dates over to you.
That's okay. I'm not going. I'll be on my way out the door, but
We just want to know.
yeah, just curious.
I think it's always the last
Where's
week
the
of
QR
October.
code?
Okay.
They're in the, by the picture, I just
Yes,
tapped
You
it.
gotta
here.
go through the pictures?
Okay.
Right here.
Oh, okay, at in the back, I see. Oh, I like that one, I see. Oh, okay, experience the CRA. Oh, I got it.
Really nice.
I gained a little point.
Also, as always, you do have your
I know I lost, but I gained it.
staff report. It's for me, so you do have your updates on all of the projects that are going on within the redevelopment area. Mr. Upel,
So you got
Deputy
more?
Director Upel.
You gotta go. Trying to go fast.
For the commercial grants, we haven't been moving as fast as we would like, but we're hoping to close out majority of them by the end of this fiscal year. For example, pregame pizza bar, they are done. They just have some final hiccups they need to go through. For the residential, we're moving really fast. We are very satisfied on how fast the initiative is moving forward. The sprinkler is finally picking up.
Praise God.
We have 10 projects starting, and then we have another
Where's Marie?
14.
Oh, she's still in the back?
Yeah.
Okay. You just-
And then we have another 14 pending. The residents are very happy. And for Pioneer Boulevard, we do have the 9 medians.
Question, who's doing the driver approach? Is
The
it
city.
the city?
Yes.
There's
On
a
the
guy,
agenda.
yeah, there's a guy in front of the library. I
Mhm.
gotta get his address. I gotta get it to make
The
sure he's
senior
in there.
that's there,
I don't think she's I think it's a guy.
the senior
It's-
we added, I don't know about
is it
the
a
other guy.
senior?
but-
It's a guy, he stayed directly across from the library, and this was last year he
Mhm.
asked. Could be I think he might be in there. You have the list, right?
No.
The city, Nikki does.
Oh,
Nikki does.
Nikki, okay,
Yes.
okay, I'll ask, okay.
For Pioneer Boulevard, the 9 medians from 6th Ave.
Councilman Gavin,
We're good.
are you good? Okay, go ahead. You good?
Oh, okay.
I'm listening. Sorry, I have a separate question
Okay.
on this.
For Pioneer Boulevard, we have the 9 medians from 6th Ave to West Dixie, where we are converting it into a passive park. We did receive the survey from, the firm received the survey. We are scheduling a meeting with all the department involved to really go through the findings, and then we will be receiving a schedule, which I'll be sharing, and hopefully we'll have a presentation by the next board meeting to go over the project. For the gateway signs, we're almost there. They've been approved. We're waiting on one final permit to be approved so they can start the installation.
Do we have a design of what it looks like, the gateway signs?
Oh, it's the same.
It's the same,
yeah.
okay,
Mhm.
okay, I just wanted to make sure.
That's it?
Can we add Liberty Gardens to this one too, please? Sir?
I was waiting for the confirmation from ESD, but it will be added.
And is barbecue still going there, or they
Yes,
changed?
it is.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
Okay. I got a question on that today.
Is this, which
Drinking
gateway
thing.
signs, is this for, the property there or
I think
years ago we had one, did we ever use those on
I think we're,
7th and 119? Those are,
no, not one, no. I think, I don't have the exact location, but I know it's on 17th Avenue and 126th.
127.
127th, yes.
I thought it was 7th, 119, and 2nd. I don't know. But I don't, is the money there or it's not there?
The money is there, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I think that's it. Motion to,
Well, I just,
oh, go ahead, sir.
report,
Go ahead.
just quick questions. Madam Executive Director, you've taken on some extra duties recently. Is it okay if I copy Mr. Appel on items related to the CRA to save you?
No, absolutely, and always, just whether or not, please do keep him in the loop, just so that there's always
Yeah.
continuity of information.
I'll still copy you, but I just want to make sure I can copy him.
Absolutely.
Okay. I had a phone call today from Frank Woland, who's an attorney on behalf of a project in District 3. I'm gonna hand all of that off to y'all tomorrow. He's calling about the I think Brookview condos on Northeast 3rd Court.
Okay.
So I'll hand that off. And then I had another question, but I've forgotten what it was, so that's all I got.
Getting young. Is that it?
That's all I got.
Okay, a motion to adjourn until 7?
Second.
All right, that's good.
I have a motion made by Chairman Deslamay to adjourn, seconded by Board Member Charles. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries with a 5-0 vote. It is now 6:12 p.m.
Then you don't adjourn. Right, no, you're not supposed to. Technically, once the motion is made, you're adjourned.